everybody. It's official! We're in a new studio, in a new house, if you couldn't tell. We're still working out some kinks with this studio, so just bear with us, okay? It takes a while. In the meantime, today we're talking about one of my favorite kinds of fiction. Dark fiction. Dark fiction is a broad term encompassing any kind of fiction that contains horrific elements. This usually means fear, dread, evil, and death. It often exposes some of the more harmful or ominous aspects of humanity. Lots of genres and subgenres qualify as dark fiction. Typically, horror novels are considered the darkest of dark fiction, but some paranormal novels can be considered dark fiction. Of course, dark fantasy is dark fiction, and there are sci-fi novels out there that could be considered dark fiction. Dark fiction is particularly popular among writers because content qualifying as dark is really enticing to write. Stories require conflict, and what's more high stakes than evil or death? But just because we love to write dark fiction doesn't mean we're doing it right. And that's where I come in. I'm breaking down the 10 best tips for writing dark fiction that is compelling, engaging, and raw. My personal favorite points are numbers 6 and 9. However, I saved the hardest pill to swallow for last, 'cause I'm a bitch. Before we get started, I have a couple announcements, and one of them is huge. First up, in case you missed it, my #1 best-selling dark fantasy romance novel, The Savior's Sister, will be celebrating its 1-year book birthday next week on Wednesday. And in order to celebrate this, I will be hosting a live stream. We will have games, I will be answering your questions. I also have some secret special guests, so if you want to get in on the action, mark your calendars. It's Wednesday next week. Be there. Second, and most importantly, if you are a dark fiction lover like myself, I've got some super exciting news for you. Right now, a ton of dark fiction novels by amazing, talented, best-selling authors are on sale for 99 cents. And we've got a massive range of dark fiction. Do you like paranormal? We got it. Do you like horror? We got it. Do you like dark fantasy? We definitely got it. There's young adult novels, there's adult novels, there's monsters, magic, steampunk, and of course, there's death. If you are interested in stockpiling your dark fiction library, now is the time to do it. We've got books by horror mastermind Daniel Wilcox, the rebel queen herself, Sasha Black, and of course, we have books by yours truly. Not only can you get my dark fantasy romance novel, The Savior's Champion, for 99 cents, you can also get its companion novel, The Savior's Sister, for 99 cents. The Savior's Sister has never been on sale before, and who knows when it'll go on sale again. If you're interested in picking up a bunch of incredible books for super cheap, I have the link listed below. Get on it, because the sale is only going down for a limited time. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos on Wednesdays, and if you want to be alerted as soon as I upload, ring that bell. Is it still on this side of the page? This is a new studio, so now I don't know which side is which. We'll just go with it. With that said, here are my 10 best tips for writing deliciously dark fantasy. Number 1, one size doesn't fit all. Dark fiction is a broad concept. It covers so many genres within speculative fiction. It can be linked to subgenres within fantasy and sci-fi. You've also got horror, thriller, and paranormal fiction. We could list dark fiction genres all day, and there will still be people who think dark fiction is this highly niche label that is dependent on killing off a ton of characters. You don't need a ton of death and destruction. There is no specific body count to aim for. The dark qualifier relies heavily on tone. Is there a sinister feeling to your story? Think of the literal idea of darkness. When it's the middle of the night, it's easy to be frightened, not because you're being chased by a demon, but because you can't see what's around you. You have no idea what's lurking in the shadows. It's the fear of the unknown, the dread of what could potentially be hiding. Yes, you can absolutely murder a crap ton of characters in your dark fiction, but remember, that tone is the qualifier. And you can achieve that tone in a variety of ways. Number 2, establish a purpose. Darkness darkness for the sake of darkness isn't entertaining, it's gimmicky. It's really common for newbies to boast of how dark their fiction is. They kill characters left and right. People think they're crazy. They're not a regular writer, they're a cool writer. The fact is, death is commonplace in fiction. It's not new, it's not original, and killing off a ton of characters isn't going to make your writing impactful. In fact, it might do the opposite. If you're murdering your cast, there needs to be a purpose to it. Every death and scare needs to affect your plot in some way. Death and scare tactics can establish the villain, the conflict, or the threat. They can motivate, discourage, or break the main character. They can hinder, obscure, or completely change the direction of the plot. But nowhere on this list did I say that death and scare tactics should exist for shock value. Yes, they can be shocking as a byproduct, but that should not be their sole purpose. Pay attention to the purpose your darker elements serve in the story. If they don't got a purpose, delete them. Number 3, emotion over blood. There is absolutely a place for blood in dark fiction. I mean, hello, dark fiction is about death. But the bloodshed and violence should never overshadow the emotional impact. The point of dangerous elements like torture, fighting, and suffering are to evoke emotion in the characters and thus in the readers. Your character may be scared for their life, and your reader is anxious to figure out whether or not they're going to survive. This is where your focus needs to be, on the emotion you're evoking through the scene. For example, say you've just killed a character in a horrific way. If the character is a stranger to the MC, you can potentially focus on the horrific nature of their death, their blood and entrails, the way their corpse disgusts and terrifies the MC. But if this character is your MC's best friend, going into lengthy details over the gore fest and nothing else is only going to lessen the emotional impact. This is your MC's best friend. How does this loss feel for them? They should be experiencing despair. Always remember what emotion you're going for and lean into it. On a similar note, number 4, darkness and gore are not synonymous. There's a time and place for gore. Sometimes it's effective, other times it's corny. Finding the right balance relies on 3 key points. First is quantity. If you've got maggot-covered corpses on every other page, it loses its effect. Too much gore numbs the reader. They become conditioned to expect it. Utilize gore sparingly and only in moments when it can really pack a punch. Second is believability. The gore needs to make sense with the world you've created. If the masked murderer is pulling out every kind of weapon imaginable from their backpack, readers are going to roll their eyes. Make sure the gore fits the era, story, and capabilities of your character. And last, as we've already covered, is emotion. Be honest about whether or not gore will enhance the emotional impact of the scene. It's not about what you want to write, it's about how your point of view character should be feeling in that scene. If gore will enhance the main character's emotional point of view, have at it. If not, for the love of God, resist. On a related note, number 5, live a little. I know I just said resist, but if the moment requires some twisted writing, don't hold back. A lot of writers say they're nervous to write a scene. It's necessary, but they're afraid it'll be too much. Bitch, if someone picked up a horror novel, they probably knew what they were getting themselves into. Sometimes a torture scene is required. Sometimes you have to describe the slow agony of a dull blade sawing through flesh. Do it! It's dark fiction for a reason, because it's dark. It's like choosing to write erotica but then holding off on the sex. Why are you even here? Now is not the time to get shy. If you need to douse your character in blood, bring out the hose. Number 6, psychology is your friend. One of the biggest elements of dark fiction is exploring the more ominous elements of the human experience. This is where understanding the human mind comes into play. No, I'm not talking about making all of your characters psychopaths. I mean paying close attention to the human experience, to nature versus nurture. Be realistic about how your characters would react to the specific situations that you have created. Say you've created a morally gray character with a troubled past who does what they need to do to survive. In that case, when faced with a life or death situation, they're probably going to be more likely to resort to sinister tactics in order to stay alive. But if you've created another character with a higher moral code, they probably won't resort to sinister tactics, or if they do, they may feel extremely guilty about it. Dive deep into your characters' minds. You are probably going to be putting them in really shitty situations, so you need to have a good idea of how they would respond and react to them. Number 7, moral grayness or bust. Dark fiction is where the morally gray come out to play. A morally gray character, more or less, is a character that behaves in both good and bad ways and has both good and bad motivations, and they thrive in dark fiction. Think about it. If you're trying to create a sinister tone, it's not gonna land if all of your characters are do-gooders with the most wholesome of intentions. Likewise, if your characters are evil for the sake of it, that doesn't have the most depth or believability. That's not to say that none of your characters can be inherently good or evil, but putting them in situations that test their morality or wickedness makes for a very compelling read. Don't be afraid to let the good guy be a little bad. So long as you're staying true to the character and the situations presented, moral ambiguity will keep the readers on their toes. Number 8, emotions vary. I've repeated ad nauseum that the emotion you evoke is going to be the most important part of the story, and we've already discussed feelings like fear, dread, or horror. But just because these feelings are prevalent in dark fiction doesn't mean they should be all-encompassing. Just like constant gore will make the reader numb, a constant state of fear or terror can be very tiring. You can only keep the readers on the edge of their seat for so long before they fall right off. This is in part why it's common to see dark fiction represented in subgenres or multi-genre work. For example, dark fantasy has elements of darkness alongside elements of magic. This allows you to play with more than just the evil and unknown. This doesn't mean you have to write multi-genre fiction in order to write good dark fiction. It just means that you can't rely on fear alone throughout the entire book. Think of your story as a roller coaster with highs and lows, points of tension and points of levity or calm, fast-paced scenes interspersed with slow-paced scenes. This helps keep readers on their toes and makes the shocking scenes all the more unexpected. Number 9, tap into your fears. While I don't encourage you to use your book as a means of self-diagnosis, I do encourage you to look within. If you want to evoke fear, what frightens you? What would be a horrible worst-case scenario in your opinion? This is a great way to establish darker elements because you know for a fact that someone is scared of them. You bitch. There is no way that you are the only person on the planet who's scared of clowns or who would hate being stuck in a broken down elevator. I'm personally terrified of deep sea life, so when I was writing The Savior's Champion, I created a scene involving deep sea creatures when I was trying to create tension, fear, and terror. If you're struggling to evoke emotion, tapping into your own fears can be a great source of inspiration. And last but not least, number 10, it is not about you. If there's one thing you've learned today, I hope that it's this shit ain't about you and what you want to write. Yes, you should be writing your passion project. Yes, you absolutely should be telling the story you want to read. But there's a difference between writing what you love and being completely self-indulgent. The latter is when you include content because it's fun, because you want to write it whether or not it serves the plot. If you're writing fanfic or if you're a hobby writer and this content will never see the light of day, then you can do what you want because it's a hobby and hobby is all about self-indulgence. But if you are planning on publishing this story and putting it out there for readers to spend money on and consume, then you need to understand that your whims come second to the quality and clarity of the story itself. Before you carve out your character's innards and splatter them across the wall, be honest with yourself. Are you doing it for you or for the benefit and forward movement of your plot? It better be the latter or I'm coming for you. So that's all I got for you today. Friendly reminder, a bunch of amazing dark fiction novels are on sale right now for 99 cents. We've got so many amazing authors like Iona Wayland, Caitlin Duncan, and of course yours truly, so be sure to check them out. The sale is lasting for a limited time only and it's linked below. Go pick up your copies right now. There's a bunch of them. And like I said, this is the first time The Savior's Sister has been on sale, and who knows when it'll be on sale again. So if you haven't read it yet, get to it. Go right now. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos on Wednesdays, and if you want to be alerted as soon as I upload, ring that bell or that bell. I don't know what side it's on anymore, guys. I'm all messed up. I'll figure it out. And be sure to follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook, BookBub, and of course you can tweet me at Jenna Moreci. Bye!
This is Musumi. Per orders, you must subscribe to Jenna's channel and ring that bell. Your sovereign commands it. Any deviation from his word will be penalized harshly, so if you know what's good for you, subscribe.